Hey, if you miss us live, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcast.
My name's Tony Wood. I'm the general manager at Fred Bean's Kia and Landlord. I just wanted to take a minute to talk about Larry Feldman at Career Changers USA. Larry and I have been working together for about the last 12 years now, and anything I've ever needed as far as recruiting, training, Larry's been right there. Larry's got me salespeople, he's got me managers, he's got me technicians even through the toughest times in the industry, and he is just the kind of guy who's going to tell you exactly what's on his mind. He's going to tell you exactly what he thinks. But Larry also has the expertise to back it up. When he was in the dealership world, he was a top performer, and that's really important to my staff, especially as it pertains to training. A lot of people can come in and teach out a textbook, but Larry has real world experience dealing with customers, dealing with situations in dealerships that we go through on a daily basis and try to train on. But Larry's been through it, so he can really empathize with the people and tell you what's worked for him and maybe what way not to go. Larry is just always at a 10. I mean, his energy level is always up there. And I think people, they just love that and they feed off of it. He's not faking it. He is genuinely excited to come in and help you. He's excited to come in and help grow your business. And he's one of those people who just really enjoys seeing dealers succeed and have a lot of fun at the same time.
Life is about connection. Having a support system to lean on. And roads to endless possibility. At every turn, guiding the way, we are building the connections that move you.
So what would your dealership feel like if your entire sales staff was literally on fire, your sales and service staff? They were nonstop all over social media, completely dominating your marketplace. They could do it in 30 days or less and then continue their education to do it for an entire 6 months or a year. You literally would completely take over the entire marketplace and no one would be able to compete with you. And that's what we can do for you. So when you're walking around your community, whether you're at local restaurants or you're going to the gym, if you don't want to be bothered, fine, you won't be bothered. But a lot of people will walk up to you and say, oh my God, I love your social media. Your staff is amazing. We love what you're doing in the community. We want to come buy a car from you. We want to get an oil change at your dealership. Your community is absolutely going to love you. And it doesn't matter what platform you're on. You could be on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all social media platforms. You will literally be all over the place. And not only will you have ads running, but your own staff is going to be promoting your brand and promoting themselves within the dealership and within the business. So it's like running an ad times 100-fold because your entire staff is participating in the process. I've traveled all over North America. I've trained Toyota. I've trained Nissan. I've been to driving sales. I've been to Women in Auto. I get hired as a speaker for conferences at universities all over the country. And I can help change the trajectory of your dealership right now.
This is Ian from Ian and Jeff at the AutoHub Show. Jeff had a rough night last night at Digital Airstrike, so he's not here in person. So you'll have to excuse him for that. He will be here later if you were looking for him. Okay. Anyway, I'm here at Numa, and it's an AI company, right? We are. Yeah. So Derek's going to talk to us about Numa, and there was a little bit of AI companies here at the show this year, right?
Yeah. AI has kind of had a breakout year, had NADA 2024. It's been a lot of fun.
So the robots are not coming? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I lay awake at night wondering if we were creating Terminator.
Oh, okay.
No, they are coming. It's just when. And I, for one, welcome our robot overlords. So let's just get that out of the way in case they're listening.
Well, we're going to do a show soon, and we're going to call it AIAIO. So we're happy to have you on the show. And the reason is we've had a lot of questions about artificial intelligence and what that is and what that means, because dealers may or may not be technical in nature, but they tend to be a little squirrely sometimes, not to name any names.
Right on.
But what are you hearing from dealers on the challenges with AI? And more importantly, what do you think those challenges present as opportunities for your company and for dealers?
Yeah, so if you saw, there was some news that came out last week about a guy that actually used kind of an injection hack on the prompt to buy a car for $1, right?
Oh, interesting.
Did you see
No, I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, it was a Chevrolet Impala, and he talked to the AI and got it confused where it actually ended up agreeing to sell him the car for $1, right? The guy was doing it intentionally to make a, name for himself, I guess.
Yeah.
And that does, though, highlight some of the challenges that we have with AI, right?
Right.
AI that acts in and of itself with no outside authority overseeing it, can get you into trouble. And so,
right.
There's some best practices that I believe that you have to use, especially when you're using generative AI. One of them is you really need a human that is aware of what's going on.
Right.
And if there's something like that, the AI needs to be smart enough to escalate to a human and say, hey, this is going outside of my parameters. Somebody needs to look at it right away.
Right.
Because if you don't, you end up, companies are learning ways to protect their prompts.
Right.
That people can't do that injection style attack.
Right.
So that's coming into play. So a lot of the AI companies will be implementing stuff that'll protect them for that. And B, the AI needs to understand when it's getting played, right?
Right.
It needs to understand when it is outside the scope of what it can provide, and it has to escalate it over to a human.
So for those strong negotiators who say, I don't know, negotiate with casinos for, free stuff,
right?
That's an issue for AI where maybe they get outfoxed. Is that what you're saying?
It certainly can be. Different ways. There are ways that you can outfox the AI if you ask it the right question.
Right. Okay. So kind of like you're calling your phone company, you're going manager, and instead instead they're just working the AI. It's easier than the manager.
It's a lot easier. So yeah, I think that's an issue. I think the dealerships need to be aware of what their AI is doing at all times, right?
Right.
Transparency with AI is critical.
Right.
And if you don't have complete transcripts of all your AI interactions that you can actually go back and audit, then you're probably missing out on something. So even voice AI, you got to have the transcripts. You have to be able to see what the AI has said, what the customer said, and how the AI responded to it.
Right.
So ultimately, you can help an AI provider with coaching that AI based upon those interactions.
Right.
But you also want to have that full transparency so that you know what's being said, right?
So the correct AI experience versus the incorrect AI experience.
Well, I'm not even going to say incorrect. I'm just going to say best practice.
Right. All right.
Because it's not going to change. It will change the customer experience if you keep improving your AI, right? If you're driving the AI to be better, what it'll do is protect you internally. That's the critical thing. That's where I'm going with it.
So with Numa, then, are you able to provide that transcript of that interaction for a dealer?
Any interaction with our AI, whether it's voice chat or text, is completely transparent. They have the call recording, they have the voice transcription, they have any of the text messaging, any of the chat messaging, everything's there. And I was kind of tooting our own horn a little bit, but we know when the AI gets outside of the parameters and it's going to escalate it to a human.
Okay.
It's actually going to come back and say, hey, I think I know what they're asking. This is my suggestion. I need a human to approve it.
Right.
At that point in time, the human can say yes and send it, or they can say no, and they can cancel that, and then they can get involved with the transaction.
So kind of like at the border when they have to get help for that question and answer session. Is that what you mean?
It's exactly what I mean. We have reached the point of the interchange where we're going to do a little bit more of an observation here.
Yeah. We got a couple questions that unfortunately this gentleman or lady can't answer. Is that what you mean? Okay, I understand.
Hey, I'm tagging in a team member.
Yeah. Tag team? Tagging out?
It's back again.
I'm tapping out.
Oof, there it is. Yeah.
So what are you hearing at the show from dealers? I mean, I know that there's a lot of discussion about AI, and obviously dealers are always looking for new technology that can help them. What are you hearing from dealers in terms of why they're looking for that, and what feedback they've had if they've been using it, as in terms of your clients? So what are you hearing at the show?
Yeah, so I think the first part of that is twofold, right? So one of the things that we're really focused on is driving efficiencies for the staff at the dealership, right? Sometimes AI gets delivered as this is a product that's going to replace people. Sure, it could happen.
Yeah.
But the reality is what we want to do with our AI is we want to enhance the employee's ability to perform their job, to be more efficient, and they can do more, right? That's the goal, right? That's what we want to do. We want to use this technology that's really super cool that's going to help your employees do a better job communicating with your customers.
Right. So leverage.
That's exactly right. Because ultimately, look, this is a human-to-human business. I don't know if it's sales, service, parts, body shop. It's a human-to-human business.
Right.
Well, your employees talking to your customers, but our AI is going to be there to facilitate the communication when your employees can't. And we're going to always tag your employees back into the conversation so that ultimately we have that human-to-human interaction. Even though we've made it more efficient, even though we've eliminated some of the staff for the human, we still want them involved. So critical thing.
So what happens when the AI has a problem, say at 2 a.m. with a customer? How does that work?
It'll escalate it for tomorrow morning. Customer.
Okay.
Right. It's outside of business hours. We'll get your response on this in the morning.
So the person in Vegas that maybe, I don't know, 7, 4 in the morning that calls a dealer,
it's okay.
They can handle that? Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
We see that every day, I'm sure, in Vegas, for example. City.
It's, most of our dealerships are running between 100 and 300 calls answered by AI overnight on a monthly basis.
Okay.
So we see it. Dealers are like, I don't get that many calls. And you don't, but the ones that you get, that you handle, it's a positive experience.
Right.
So the AI is able to do that because it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
So
you think about this. If you need roadside assistance, how nice is it to talk to an AI that says, great, I can text you a link to that.
Yeah.
So it's just a way to improve that communication. Now, tomorrow morning, when the team comes in, that's going to be at the top of their inbox, and they're going to see that Alana called last night, talked to the AI, they sent a roadside assistant, they can follow up with her.
So what are dealers seeing as an uptick where maybe historically they didn't have someone to handle that, say, after hours?
I don't even want to make up a number. This is what I know. I learned this at an early age in the car business, but 68.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. So I don't want to tell you because I can't quantify it. What I can tell you, which is demonstrable, is that with Numa, right? What happens at our dealer clients is that we drive missed call, missed text communication responses across all dealership departments to 15 minutes or less. We had 6 million calls for dealerships last year. 6 million. We did 22 million text messages last year. Those 6 million missed calls, the average response time is 13 minutes for our clients. Now think about that. If I could go in and tell your service manager that I'm going to get that voicemail that was left for your advisor responded to in 15 minutes or less, do you want to do Numa? They're like, yeah, we do. Because that right there is the ROI. Because that drives customer satisfaction and it drives dollars for RO. Speed of response is the most critical piece when you're dealing with the communication issues. When we look at this, we've done a bunch of projects with several OEMs, and every one of them, when they identify why there was an increase in CSI at the store with Numa, it's easy. Communication. Period. End of story.
So what about the parts? Can you hold calls? Can you handle those?
Yeah, we do. Not only do we handle them, but a lot of our dealerships that are using Numa in the parts department are actually sending out messages to all of their wholesale parts customers, and they say, text us in, and they use the Numa number with the year, make, model, and the part you need. And then what happens is that goes in as a parts request into the queue and is queued up at the top. And so now while Bobby at Parts Counter is on the phone like this, he's in Numa and he clicks, copies, looks it up, pastes, sends it back, and the guy orders the part. And it's done. We're seeing so much efficiencies from this.
Right.
Parts counter people are telling us we'd rather all of the parts requests come through because it's in their inbox and it's aggregated and they can go through and look at it on a daily basis.
Right.
We just launched a very large dealership.
Yep. Congratulations.
Probably one of the number one in the world. Actually, it is the number one in the world.
Yeah.
The first day that they were live in parts at like 10 minutes before closing, there was 7 calls that had come into Numa with parts requests.
Right.
They handled all 7 of them via text and got the orders before they closed in 10 minutes. They were blown away. They're like, this is what we need. So now we're answering about 2,500 to 3,000 calls per month for them.
Right.
So it's again, efficiency, right? Drive efficiency. Yep. That's what we're trying to do. We still want the humans engaged. We still want the humans involved. We're going to continue to build out this AI where it becomes more robust, and it can do more things. But right now, we're just helping everybody be very successful with their communication and do it in a timely fashion.
Great. So how can dealers get started? What, if any, setup is needed? And, what are you hearing from dealers at the show, I guess? I mean, what are you getting out of the show so far?
So it's been an amazing show. The first 2 days were our 5th best and 6th best month that we ever had.
Fantastic.
That's a good day. When days start counting as months, it's amazing. So getting started with us is really super easy. You can go to Numa.com, Numa.com. We got a bunch of white papers on there, and they can click on request a demo, and we'll get them squared away, get it done. And if they put that they saw us on your show in the message, I'll give them a coupon for their 2nd month free.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So did you hear that? It's an offer, even if you aren't at NADA 2024.
Yep.
So if you want to check out Numa, there will be a description in the, once I edit this video, in the show notes or the episode notes. And of course, you can always reach out to the AutoHub show if you have questions.
Yep. So Numa.com is easy to get to. Super easy. I'll hit you with a couple of things that are really kind of interesting. One of our big dealer groups, they also have one of the number 1 franchises in the world. Their BDC was swamped with inbound phone calls.
Yeah.
Service, right?
Service, yeah. Is my card on yet? Is my card?
Yeah. Status update, requests, all this kind of things. Well, they were able to, and there's a white paper on our website about this, but they were able to produce 500 appointments from their outbound effort pretty much month in and month out.
Right.
The 3rd month on Numa, they did 1,500 appointments.
Wow.
They tripled the amount of appointments that they were able to schedule, and that's because the efficiencies that it provides the BDC team.
Right.
It's because of the efficiencies it provides to the service advisors, eliminating a lot of those status update calls, right? And so Numa, the cool thing about Numa is, it's an AI, it's an AI robot. It is a desktop web-based application, but it's also phone-based.
Yeah.
So there's a Numa app. And what we're hearing from our service advisors is that they're saving 90 minutes a day because they can be out back talking to a technician. They miss a call at their desk. They pull up the Numa app. It's exactly like they are at their desk. They can call from the app. They can text from the app. They can go through the mobile phone, goes to the Numa numbers, which are tied to the dealership.
Right.
And it's just like they're sitting at their desk. So they're able to handle a missed call on the way back from being out there attack. They're not having to get back and then pull up the voicemail and listen to 3 that they've got, pray they don't get interrupted, forget it, accidentally erase it, all the things, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you look at mobile phone usage, and years ago I worked for a website provider in automotive, and we had dealers throughout North America. The stats in most big urban markets are about a 70% mobile only looking at websites. So being able to handle it from a mobile phone, but more importantly, being able to be mobile phone friendly for the customer is key.
Yeah.
And obviously people are not becoming more patient these days, especially with different generations. I heard Alpha is the new generation yesterday after Generation Z, which I had no idea.
I did not know
that was something I just found out yesterday. I don't even know what it means, but it's Alpha.
We got Generation Alpha.
Yeah. I guess Beta is next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Obviously you achieve your targets for the show. What have you learned from the show from, I guess, other vendors or other things people are doing or dealers? I mean, what's your biggest takeaway from this year's show? Now that we're on the last day.
No, I think that's a great question. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to leave the boat. So I haven't seen anything. Here's a takeaway that I do have. Everybody that came in. So we are in, what are we in, the North Hall?
Yep.
We're in the North Hall.
Yep.
So many of the dealers that I talked to, and this is a shout out to the other vendors in the North Hall, have told us they felt like the real innovation was happening over in the North Hall. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we're in the Innovation Hall. That's what we're going to call it. We're going to say us vendors over here in the North Hall. We're not the redheaded stepchildren. We're the innovators. That's what we're doing. So anyway, it was the big thing that I heard is that all the dealers that came to us said, we're looking for AI. We want to know what AI can do for the dealership.
Yep.
We want to have a little bit more of an understanding. I had many conversations with dealers that told me I'm afraid of AI, and I get it. No,
Robots are coming.
it's the boogeyman. Right? Anytime we don't know what's happening, it's scary. And so being able to sit and show that, let them see the transparency, let them understand that the AI is supporting their humans and that we expect their humans to still do their job, that's a kind of a cool thing.
So they're thinking Arnold is a bad thing?
So, yeah, Skynet's scary, man.
I think some of us have that domain. Probably a useful domain these days. Anyway, thanks for taking the time. Really appreciate it. Yeah. And if you have questions, obviously you can reach out to the AutoHub show. We are doing NADA post show tomorrow, crack of on my time. I'll probably have 5 hours sleep, but we will be releasing videos from the show. So obviously if you have a question in the meantime, reach out, and happy to help.
And remember,
Thanks. Oh, go ahead.
remember, if they say they saw it on your show or heard about it on your show, I'll give you a coupon second month free.
Yeah, check out the link below in the description, and of course, feel free to reach out with any questions.
Right on.
Thanks very much.
Hey, if you missed us live, you can listen to us wherever you get your podcast.